What's going on, guys? Behind me is the Charlottenburg Palace in Berlin. This place was first inaugurated in 1699 and served as the basically summer home for the kings of Prussia, from Friedrich I through Wilhelm II. Every single king of Prussia. It was built during the reign of Friedrich I, who was the first king of Prussia. But in 1699, when this was built, he was just the Duke of Prussia and the Prince Elector of Brandenburg. And that's why it's located in Berlin, because the capital of the Brandenburg Electorate was in Berlin. 2 years later, in 1701, Brandenburg helped the Holy Roman Empire during the War of the Spanish Succession. And in return, the Holy Roman Emperor at the time, Leopold I, consecrated Friedrich with the title King in Prussia. And then eventually, the kings in Prussia will later become the kings of Prussia when Frederick the Great in the late 1700s makes the kingdom of Prussia more of an independent rule outside of the Holy Roman Empire. But it started as a kingdom within the Holy Roman Empire, and the first king was Friedrich I, and he was the first king to stand here. His wife, Sophie Charlotte, this was her main residence. She died here in 1705. And actually, on the grounds of the palace, we're going to see outside, two kings are buried there. Friedrich Wilhelm III of Prussia and the first German Kaiser, Wilhelm I, who served as the first Kaiser of the German Empire from 1871 to 1888. They're both here, and we're going to be screaming their names for smash. So without further ado, let's go check this place out. So right here on the gate, you got these gold-plated, the Prussian eagle right there. Freaking sweet. So let's head on in. We got the mics because we don't want to be too loud inside for obvious reasons. Got the German hat, guys. Let's go. Here we go. Alright, as you guys know, I love my European monarchies, and this was one out of the entire trip we've done. This is one of the most excited, looking forward to sites that we've gone to. This is one of the sites that I've been looking the most forward to. It's one of the Prussian kings, Friedrich. One of the Friedrichs. There are many Friedrichs. I'm trying to figure out which one it was. Well, so you had 3 Friedrichs, and then you had 4 Friedrich Wilhelms and 2 Wilhelms. And that's the entire Prussian monarchy. Keep in mind that the emperors who later became the German Kaisers were also king of Prussia as well. But Prussia just ended up being the most powerful. That's why they ended up being the German Kaisers. There's only 3 of them. Wilhelm I, Friedrich III, and Wilhelm II. So this looks freaky. All right, guys, this is the interior of the Charlottenburg Palace. We just got our tickets checked. So check this out. It's going to be sweet. So during World War II, Berlin was completely destroyed to rubble, and this is what the palace looked like. It was repaired for the most part since then, but there's not too many buildings in Berlin older than 1945. There's a few that they repaired, but 363 bombing air raids were conducted by British, American, and French forces during World War II, and Charlottenburg was a victim of that bombing. But it was for the most part restored. Here we go, baby. This is what I like to say right here. So here's some of the Prussian royals right here. Really cool. Really cool. I assume these might be original portraits. Now, I mentioned this building was consecrated or inaugurated in 1699. It wasn't actually finished until 1713, by which time Friedrich I's son was on the throne of Prussia. Friedrich I died in 1713. He said he was the first king in Prussia. Very small portraits. Very cool. Look at this hall right here, dude. This is immaculate. There's a portrait of Louis XIV from 1668 over in the last room. A French monarch. This is cool. Now, the Prussian kings had many different residences. They had one in Potsdam, was
one of the main ones, but it changed throughout history. But all of the Prussian kings stayed here at some point, and they usually saw this as their summer getaway home. This is kind of the place that they would stay in the summer months of the year. They wouldn't rule from here year round because they had many different residences, but this was one of their favorites and where they stayed during the summer, most of them throughout the few hundred years. Here's Peter the Great of Russia, right here. It's a Russian Tsar in the early 1700s. Very cool. So Prussia first became a duchy back in 1525, so it existed for about 400 years before World War I, when the monarchy was abolished, and all subsequent monarchies in Germany were abolished after World War I, 1918. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, we should. That is awesome. It's an awesome ceiling. This room is nice. It's huge. This is the biggest, one of the biggest palace complexes in Germany. Definitely the biggest in Berlin. You get my picture right here in the doorway with these three portraits. Here's the mirror. So this is the church area, the place of worship room. This is here, but this could be the body of a child. It's a portrait of Sophia of Hanover back there. Missed. Look at these. These are sweet. Here's the imperial helmet of the German Empire. Hohenzollern helmet. This is the World War I era, 1860, yeah, and before German Empire, Prussia. I have one of these, but it's a replica, obviously. Brass. Here's Friedrich Wilhelm IV. He was the Kaiser, the first Kaiser's older brother. This is cool. Medieval model. Unknown armor. Berlin in 1688. That is sweet. Oh, yeah. So here is a map of Prussia and with the German Empire. 1840. That's what the German Confederation looked like in 1840. See, Prussia had territory in the Confederation and outside over in Königsberg, which is now owned by Russia, parts of Poland. Prussia started in Poland. It was the Knights of the Teutonic Order, which was a religious organization, Catholic organization that eventually became Protestant after the Reformation. So really interesting. Here's a medal. This is a cool room. There's some knights up here on the wall. Otto, 935. See Otto the Great. And some other German nobles from the Middle Ages. This is cool right here. So here's some more stuff. There's Wilhelm I right there. You can tell it's him. Amazing burns. Sigismund. Right here, 1612. Here's Anna of Prussia. So she's the one that connected Brandenburg with Prussia, the lines of Brandenburg and Prussia. She was born in Prussia and married one of the electors of Brandenburg. So here's from counts to emperors, Hohenzollerns, Holy Roman Empire. Elector Friedrich III in Königsberg in 1701 became Frederick. Okay. There's also the great elector as well. This is cool. There's Wilhelm II, that epic helmet right there. He was the last Kaiser. Plates. More plates and stuff. This is cool. Goldenware. This is pretty cool. Rungung. Silver, I would imagine. There's the old Prussian eagle right there, which obviously becomes the symbol of the German Empire. We all know Second Reich's the best, guys. It's the best part of German history. That elephant. I'm sure that's all silver. Look at that. Just one of the tables right here. Wow, that's amazing. I'd love to eat here. That's what it's like to live in luxury. Here we go. Friedrich II. This is Frederick the Great, as he's known. He expanded the territory of Prussia and the power immensely, bringing authority to the king. He became the king of Prussia instead of the king in Prussia. He ruled until 1786, 1740s. Show this stuff here. Some other artifacts here. From the 19th century. Cool stuff out here is Frederick the Great. König is king. Von Preußen. Preußen is Prussia in German. We just got told by one of the guards to turn the flash off. Classic. So this came unclipped. The great elector, Friedrich Wilhelm of Prussia. We got some portraits here. This is Wilhelm I when he was young. Right here. That is him when he was older. It's the same guy. So we're going to see his grave out in the garden out there in a minute. This is Friedrich II. So it's Frederick the Great. He ruled in the 1740s through 1780s. And then we have him up there as young. And here he is up here again. Friedrich der Grosse. And then we got Friedrich Wilhelm III right here. He is also buried out in the garden. Him and Wilhelm I are buried here. So that's really cool. And here's some footmen models. Heck yeah, this is sweet. This is beautiful. Could you imagine living in a place like this? That'd be crazy. The dome of the Charlottenburg Palace. It's nice not seeing a portrait of Henry Clay anywhere in here. The American audience will get that one. Guys, there actually wasn't a door that led to the gardens. We had to walk all the way around the palace. So now we're outside by the gardens. We had to walk all the way around the palace. So let's look for the graves of these monarchs. This garden is phenomenal right here. So here's the palace right here. Seems like every time we go to one of these sites, there's always construction work. So that's always fun. But anyway, this is immaculate. Look at this. Beautiful. Look at these flowers. This is awesome, man. This complex is huge. It goes back. This does make up for the Heidelberg Garden, guys. If any of you guys saw that video. If it's not out yet, it'll be out soon. The two of the Prussian kings are buried out here. We're gonna try to find their graves somewhere out here. This might take a minute. This place kind of looks like a maze, but that is a good thing. Look at these flowers right here. Those of you guys, some of you guys I know on this channel love to see the gardens of these places. So here you go. Very nice, very nice. I'll tell you, my garden back home doesn't look this good. Actually, I don't have one, but if I did, it wouldn't look this good. So this is sick. Look at this design right here of the rocks and everything. Kind of spirals up. Pretty cool. Here's some bees, some bumblebees right here, European bumblebees. Very cool. Police eye over there. Got a fountain up here, and it leads to some body of water, either a river or a lake up here. Very well taken care of. It's beautiful out here. This would be a really good spot to do a photo shoot. I believe the Palace Garden, we did have to pay for tickets. Did we?
Yeah.
We had to pay for tickets to tour the palace, but you can actually get in the garden for free. So if the tickets sell out or you don't feel like paying, you can go to the gardens for free. We lucked out. This is just the nicest day ever right here, man. It's also really cool in Germany. It's like 65 degrees right now. It's awesome. It's 65 degrees with a little sun. Got the nice blue skies and everything. Really nice. Oh, this is awesome. Check that out. Fountain with the palace in the background like that. That is awesome. So beautiful. Right here we got this pond right here, a lake or river or something. It is awesome. Yeah, let's check this out. It's nice. That's a beauty right there. I love that cream color. It actually looks pretty nice. Dome on the top there. Very cool. I'm going to continue with the garden tour right now in this video. All right, guys, so we walked down here. It's about a 5-minute walk, 0.2 miles back from the main gardens. This is the mausoleum right here where the first German Kaiser is buried, Wilhelm I. He ruled as Kaiser from 1871 to 1888 and served as King of Prussia from 1861 to 1888. So here he is. I encourage you guys to check out right now in the cards. I'm going to do a link to a video that I do separately on Kaiser Wilhelm I if you want to see the inside of the mausoleum, but we're going to